Madam, I rise to make a statement on behalf of my colleague, the External Affairs Minister, Mrs. Sushma Swaraj. I rise to make a statement on the order of the Arbitral Tribunal constituted under Annexure 7 of the United Nations Convention on the Law of Sea concerning the dispute between India and Italy on the Enrissia Lexi incident. The order in response to Italy's request for provisional measures was given yesterday by the Arbitral Tribunal at The Hague. The House has been following this matter since the incident in 2012 with considerable attention. It is therefore only fitting that we should take the House into confidence regarding the recent developments. As Honourable Ministers are aware that the incident in question happened in February 2012 when the Italian naval personnel on board of MV Enrissia Lexi opened fire on the Indian shipping vessel St. Anthony, resulting in the death of two fishermen. The two Italian Marines, Sergeants Latore and Gironi, who were charged with this killing, were detained by the police, and the case against them is presently for bail in the Supreme Court. This case has been contested in various courts since 2012, and the two Italian Marines involved in 2012 itself obtained bail. The bail conditions have been relaxed on numerous occasions. India's jurisdiction in this case has been challenged by Italy since the occurrence of the incident. Members would recall that we even had a situation where the sovereign undertaking given by Italy to the Supreme Court of India was sought to be repudiated. In July 2015, Italy invoked international arbitration on this matter under the United Nations Convention on the Law of Sea. As a state party to the convention, we were obliged to join such proceedings. As Annexure 7 Arbitral Tribunal was accordingly constituted, that comprised of 5 members from Russia, Republic of Korea, Jamaica, Italy and India. An initial request for provisional measures was made by Italy even before the constitution of the Arbitral Tribunal. When it approached the International Tribunal of Law of Sea, it sought an immediate end to the restrictions of the liberty, security and movement of the two Marines, and for India to refrain from taking or enforcing any judicial or administrative measures against them, and from exercising any other form of jurisdiction over the incident. The ITLOS, the tribunal order, did not accept Italy's plea, but pronounced that all court proceedings should be suspended in the two countries and no new proceeding should be initiated. Since India contested this Italian plea before the ITLOS successfully, this time Italy sought more limited relief from Annexure 7 Arbitral Tribunal on humanitarian grounds. It did so essentially on the argument that since the court proceedings in India were stayed, no purpose would be served by the continued presence in India of Sergeant Gironi. This too was contested by India on the ground that there is no change in circumstances or urgency. It was on this matter that the Arbitral Tribunal issued its order yesterday. The tribunal noted that while Italy had earlier made a far-reaching request that, if granted, would have removed Sergeant Gironi entirely from the reach of the Indian legal system, this time Italy was only requesting India to relax the bail condition to enable him to return to Italy. In doing so, Italy was prepared to accept that he remained under the jurisdiction of the courts of India. In essence, they proposed to change the physical location of Sergeant Gironi's bail without prejudice to the authority of Indian courts. Let me make it clear that the authority of the Supreme Court has been affirmed, not questioned. The issue of jurisdiction, which is at the heart of the case, is yet to be argued before the tribunal. And even the limited relief given on entirely humanitarian considerations has been made contingent on the clear-cut undertaking provided by the Italian government that Sergeant Gironi will return to India in case the Indian jurisdiction is established. Now let me come to the order of the Arbitral Tribunal unanimously issued as a provisional measure. It prescribed that India and Italy would approach the Supreme Court of India for relaxation of the bail condition of Sergeant Gironi. While remaining under the authority of the Supreme Court of India, he may return to Italy for the duration of the present arbitration. The tribunal confirmed Italy's obligation to return him to India in case it was found that India had jurisdiction over him in respect of the incident. The tribunal has left it to the Supreme Court of India to fix precisely conditions of Sergeant Gironi's bail. These would include, inter alia, him reporting to an authority in Italy designated by our Supreme Court in intervals to be determined by it surrendering his passport to the Italian authorities and not leaving Italy without the permission of our Supreme Court. Further, Italy shall apprise our Supreme Court of this situation every 3 months. I would like to inform the honourable members that the tribunal also placed on record undertakings given by Italy in regard to Sergeant Gironi's return to India. India is assured unequivocally and with legally binding effect that Sergeant Gironi will return to India in case the tribunal finding that we have jurisdiction over him in respect of the incident concerned. It noted that Italy's undertaking constitute an obligation binding upon it under international law. It has also confirmed that Italy is under an obligation to return Sergeant Gironi to India if the tribunal finds that India has jurisdiction over the Marines. The tribunal considers that the provisional measures should not alter the situation where the Supreme Court of India exercises jurisdiction over Sergeant Gironi. It has also noted that while Sergeant Gironi may return to Italy during the present arbitration, during all this period he would remain under the authority of the Supreme Court of India. Members may be assured that in due course the government will approach the Honourable Supreme Court for its directions in the matter. We see the tribunal's order not just as a recognition of India's consistent position and the key arguments, but also as an affirmation of the authority of the Indian Supreme Court. Let me conclude by making the government's position on this case amply clear. We strongly believe that India has jurisdiction in this case, and this position has been and will be our unwavering stance. As a nation that respects international law, we will pursue our case vigorously before the arbitral tribunal. The government will fight for the rights of the victims of this incident and are confident in obtaining justice for them and their families. I am confident that we have the full support of the Honourable House in this endeavour.